ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਵਡਹੰਸ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਚੌਥਾ। ਘੋੜੀਆਂ। ਇੱਕ ਓੰਕਾਰ ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਪ੍ਰਸਾਦ, ਦੇ ਤੇਜਣ ਜੀ ਰਾਮ ਉਪਾਈਆਂ ਰਾਮ। ਧਨ ਮਾਨਸ ਜਨਮ ਪੁੰਨ ਪਾਈਆਂ ਰਾਮ, ਮਾਨਸ ਜਨਮ ਵੱਡ ਪੁੰਨੇ ਪਾਇਆ। ਦੇਹ ਸੋ ਕੰਚਨ ਚੰਗੜੀਆਂ, ਮਨ ਮੁਖ ਰੰਗ ਚਲੂਲਾ ਪਾਵੈ। ਹਰ 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 ਨਵ ਰੰਗੜੀਆਂ, ਇਹ ਦੇਹ ਸੋ ਬਾਂਕੀ ਜਿਤ ਹਰ ਜਾਪੀ। ਹਰ ਹਰ ਨਾਮ ਸੁਹਾਵੀਆਂ, ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਪਾਈ ਨਾਮ ਸਿਖਾਈ। ਜਿਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਰਾਮ ਉਪਾਈਆਂ, ਦੇਹ ਪਾਵੋਂ ਜ਼ੀਨ ਬੁਝ ਚੰਗਾ ਰਾਮ। ਝੜ ਲੰਗਾ ਜੀ ਬਿਖਮ ਭਯੰਗਾ ਰਾਮ। ਬਿਖਮ ਭਯੰਗਾ ਅਨੰਤ ਤਰੰਗਾ, ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਪਾਰ ਲੰਘਾਏ। ਹਰ ਬੋਹਿਤ ਚੜ ਵਡਭਾਗੀ ਲੰਘੈ, ਗੁਰ ਖੇਵਟ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਤਰਾਏ। ਅਨ ਦਿਨ ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਹਰ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਵੈ, ਹਰ ਰੰਗੀ ਹਰ ਰੰਗਾ। ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਨਿਰਵਾਣ ਪਦ ਪਾਇਆ, ਹਰ ਉੱਤਮ ਹਰ ਪਦ ਚੰਗਾ। ਘੜਿਆਲ ਮੁਖ ਗੁਰ ਗਿਆਨ ਦਿਰੜਾਇਆ ਰਾਮ। ਤਨ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਹਰ ਚਾਬਕ ਲਾਇਆ ਰਾਮ। ਤਨ ਪ੍ਰੇਮ ਹਰ ਹਰ ਲਾਏ, ਚਾਬਕ ਮਨ ਜਣੈ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਜੀਤਿਆ। ਘੜੋ ਕਢਾਵੈ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਪਾਵੈ, ਅਪਿਓ ਹਰ ਰਸ ਪੀਤਿਆ। ਸੁਣ ਸਰਵਣ ਬਾਣੀ ਗੁਰ ਬਖਾਣੀ, ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਤੁਰੀ ਚੜਾਇਆ। ਮਹਾਮਾਰਗ ਪੰਥ ਬਿਖੜਾ, ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਪਾ ਲੰਘਾਇਆ। ਘੋੜੀ ਤੇਜਣ ਦੇਹ ਰਾਮ ਉਪਾਈਆ ਰਾਮ। ਜਿਤ ਹਰ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਜਾਪੈ ਸਾ ਧਨ, ਧਨ ਤੁਖਾਈਆ ਰਾਮ। ਜਿਤ ਹਰ ਪ੍ਰਭ ਜਾਪੈ ਸਾ ਧਨ ਸਾ ਬਾਸੈ। ਧੁਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਕਿਰਤ ਜੁੜੰਦਾ, ਝੜ ਦੇਹੜ ਘੋੜੀ ਬਿਖਮ ਲੰਘਾਏ। ਮਿਲ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਪਰਮਾਨੰਦਾ, ਹਰ ਹਰ ਕਾਜ ਰਚਾਇਆ ਪੂਰੈ। ਮਿਲ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾ ਜਨ ਆਈ, ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਹਰ ਵਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਮੰਗਲ। ਮਿਲ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾ ਵਾਧਾਈ, ਹਰ ਹਰ ਕਾਜ ਰਚਾਇਆ ਪੂਰੈ। ਮਿਲ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾ ਜਨ ਆਈ, ਜਨ ਨਾਨਕ ਹਰ ਵਰ ਪਾਇਆ ਮੰਗਲ। ਮਿਲ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾ ਵਾਧਾਈ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's Pavan Pitra Hukamnaama Sahib from Sachkhand Sri Harmandir Sahib is on 575, blessed to us by Guru Ramdas Ji Sache Paatshah Ji. It's Bani called Ghoreeaa. Guru Ramdas Ji Paatshah Ji blessed us this Bani called Ghoreeaa in Vadhans Rag. Ghoreeaa Sangat Ji were those songs that were sung when the groom would get upon the horse, getting ready to go and become wedded with that bride that is waiting for him. So it's about this union of two people coming together. It's about that time. It's songs sung in absolute happiness, because two people are going to come together and start this new life. So Ghoreeaa ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, and they say that this ਬਾਣੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਉਸੇ ਤਰਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਉਚਾਰਨ ਕੀਤੀ। So in the same tune that the Ghoreeaa was sung at the time of marriage, saying Guru Ramdas Ji Paatshah Ji, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਬਾਣੀ ਉਚਾਰੀ। Guru Ramdas Ji Paatshah Ji recited this ਬਾਣੀ in that same tune. Sangat ji, obviously, traditionally, culturally, these Ghoreeaa are still sung during times of marriage in certain places. But over here, and Sant Baba Gurbachan Singh ji Pindrawale, they say in their Gurbani part Darbar Pothi, they say that these Ghoreeaa should be this Bani that Guru Ramdas ji Paat ji ne jehdi ucharan kittiyan, this should be sung. These Shabad should be sung during the time of marriage, when somebody's building up for that wedding day. People often ask, if we're not going to be partying, if we're not going to be doing these things anymore, then what should we replace it with? And then Sant ji said that these are the Baniya, this is the Kirtan. We should be doing Kirtan of these type of Baniya. So on the boys' side, this is what they would be singing, and then on the bride's side, the Shabds that they would be singing are slightly different to these. So, Sangat ji, aao aapa sarvan kariye. Let's listen to what Guru Ramdas ji Paat ji is saying to us through this Bani. It's very, very poetic. So we've got to be careful that we don't get too caught up in just trying to work out the metaphors that Guru Ramdas ji Paat ji are using. But for us, it's about the essence of the actual message that Guru Ramdas ji Paat ji is bringing forward for us. So, aao ek onkar sadgur prasad, the Manglacharan. Ek onkar sadgur prasad, prasad meaning grace, kirpa. Gur, maaf karna, satgur, Satguru, the Guru of truth. That only through the kirpa of that Guru that holds, that has realized the truth and that has got the ability to take us to the truth, only with the grace of that Guru can we have union with the Ek, from that one we have come from, Uang, whilst we are living within this creation. Dehe tejan ji Ram upaya Ram. Guru Ramdas ji Paat ji saying to us today, kende Dehe tejan ji. Kende imagine now, kende your De meaning body. Dehe, they're referring to the body as being tejan. Tejan Sangaji translates to a female horse. So they're saying, imagine the body to be like the horse. Guru Ramdas ji Paat saying, kende Dehe tejan ji Ram upaya Ram. That it's Vaheguru ji, that it's Ram, that is upaya, that is actually created, that is made this horse body. Tan manas janam pun paiya. But then here Guru Ramdas ji Paat say, kende tan manas janam. Kende blessed is that, kende is blessed is what? Blessed, they saying, is manas janam, is a human life. Kende tan manas janam. And then Paat ji saying, kende how do we actually obtain this human life? And then they tell us, kende pun paiya Ram. Kende only with pun. Paiya, by actually doing pun, virtuous actions. That's how we actually get this body. And then Guru Ramdas ji Paat ji kende manas janam vad punne paya. Kende this human life, how did we get it? Kende vad punne paya. We're doing such great actions, virtuous actions that we've done. Vad bahut vade, such great punne deeds that we've done. Paya. That's how we've got it. Paya, obtained this human life. Kende dehe so kanchan changadiyan. Paat ji kende those bodies kende are what? So kanchan are gold. Kanchan means gold. Changadiyan means good. Kende those bodies are beautiful and pure like gold. What bodies, Sangat ji? So this is a question here now that often comes up in the minds of people. I personally have been asked this question so many times. People ask this question, they'll say, well, if Maharaj ji, if Sache Paat ji is saying to us that to get this human life, that we've got to do good deeds, and those good deeds are done in our past lives. And then the question comes to say that, okay, so what form of life were those good deeds done in? Were they animal forms? So was it that I was a dog and the dog did something really virtuous and then got this body. People, Sangat Ji, as funny as it might sound, as I'm actually saying that, because we don't contemplate deep enough into the Guru's Bani. Many people talk about, I've heard recently people keep using this term. They keep using the term of researching. Have you researched Guru Granth Sahib Ji? Pyareo, Guru Granth Sahib Ji isn't something that we research. Guru Granth Sahib Ji di Bani is sada Gurua. How can you research your Guru? We don't research our Guru, Pyareo. Pacha Ji saying, can they search inside of yourself for that one? But what do we do with Gurbani then? Gurbani, Sangat Ji, we contemplate it. Gurbani is a journey for us. Gurbani is a mirror for us. We bow before the Guru, before these words. And as we read these words with love, and we deeply contemplate on the Guru's word to see what is my Guru saying and where am I? And then as I look at what my Guru is saying to me, deeply contemplating the Guru's word, and then Sangat Ji, I do ardas. Then I beg Vaheguru Ji to instill those qualities inside of me that the Guru is telling me of. Because Pyareo, I was thinking this morning, often that even sometimes reading Gurbani, for many of people researching Sikhi, I've even had these messages and comments come up saying that, you know what, I didn't realize I fell into that little pit, that rut of thinking I need to know more, I need to know more, I need to know more. Before I can practice Sikhi, let me research it first, let me look into it first. Pyareo, a Guru is somebody that we give ourselves to completely and surrender to. And Guru Nanak Pacha Ji, we surrender to Guru Nanak Pacha Ji. This Bani isn't about, this path isn't about accumulating knowledge. Our goal in life is not to accumulate knowledge. Sangat Ji, our goal in life is to accumulate guna, is to accumulate qualities within ourselves. Apa andar apne andar, apa Pyareo, apa gyan nahi vardhauna. ਗਿਆਨ ਆਪਾਂ ਗਿਆਨ ਹਾਸਲ ਕਰਨਾ ਆ, ਉਹ ਗਿਆਨ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਪ ਦਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ, ਉਸ ਪਿਆਰੇ ਦਾ ਗਿਆਨ ਹੋ ਜਾਵੇ. But we're not here to increase our knowledge, we're here to increase our guna. So Sangat Ji, Guru Ramdas Ji, and this question comes up and people say, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਕਿ then मैं की कुत्ते दी जुन्नी विच कहंदे पुण्य चंगे कीते सगे. Was I judged? Was it in I was to become a human then? Obviously, we think, obviously then it must have been in a different life form to become then a human now, because this human life is so blessed. So was it that I was able to do a good deed as a dog, as a such and such animal, a rabbit, whatever it might be? I can relate to a rabbit because we actually had a rabbit going back about 8-9 years ago. Used to run around in the garden. Used to often try and escape. Even though I'm not really for that personal thing for me. Not really for kind of confining these beautiful animals, and I'd rather them being in natural habitats. Sangat Ji, and could that animal have done something nice for someone or something, and now I've become this? Was I a rabbit that did something amazing to become this? Sangat Ji, no. That's not what the Guru is saying. But the Guru, if we look carefully into this, yes, these translations completely throw us. If we read this translation, it's talking about human life is obtained only by the most virtuous actions. This body is radiant and gold. It doesn't mean this body is radiant and gold. What it's saying is, if we read carefully, it says, So kanchan changadiyan. Kende those bodies. Because kende so means those. Those bodies have been obtained by Sangat Ji by doing some form of great deeds and that now have become golden like. Which body, Sangat Ji? What have we done in the past to get a golden body? Pachaji is saying you've done good deeds to get a body now. Is that golden like? Golden like meaning, Sangat Ji, that has become so pure. And then what is that body? What is that human life that Pachaji is talking about? They're saying Gurmukh rang chulula pave. So this will hopefully answer that question that often rattles in people's minds. Pachaji kende Gurmukh rang chulula pave. Kende those that through the Guru, Gurmukh here, Sangat Ji, means those that give themselves to a Guru. That's what it means. That we've done something, we've done some virtuous actions to then be able to give ourselves to a Guru in this life. To actually have a Guru is a great thing. That is a golden body, Sangat Ji. Anybody that is blessed enough to take on a Guru that is a Satguru, that Satguru, Sangat Ji, that is one with that one. And they are, Sangat Ji, the most blessed. That is the most blessed human life. Gurmukh rang chulula pave. And what will that Guru do for them? When you surrender to that Guru, to Tan Sri Guru Nanak Dev Ji Sache Pacha Ji Pyareo, what will happen? Rang chulula pave. They'll then be colored in chulula rang, Sangat Ji. And this actually came from the word, it's talking about that. It's talking actually about a poppy, because Sangat Ji, a poppy, the color of it is deep red. He's saying that now that I've been colored in that deep red color of what? Of love. That I have now inside of me is welled up in love. And Sangat Ji, it's my life has become filled with love, and it's just now whatever I do, it's unconditional. Whatever I do is now unconditional. Pave har har. How do I, and what, where, how can that love be seen by anyone else? Where is that love now? That love has come into, that my mind is filled with love. All my thoughts, every thought that I have within my mind is there filled with love. Every thought that I have is unconditional. Meaning that whatever thought I have of doing anything in life, I'm not doing it because I want something in return. That thought of wanting to do something is only because of love. That hara, every word that I speak is now unconditional, is filled with love. Kende hara, every action that I do is from love. I don't have any desires for a return from whatever I'm doing. It's just everything's in love now. Kende nava rangadiya. Kende now I remain in that new color. Nava means new. Rangadiya means I'm colored in that new color. What it means to be colored in the new color, Sangat Ji, is when, just like Pachi say, Kende Sahib mera neet nava. Kende my Sahib, my master is constantly, is forever new. I become forever new. I'm not like that car that you take out the showroom, and the moment you take it out, it starts to get old. I've now become that is never old. I'm forever new, meaning I'm forever blossoming from inside. For me, it's always Basant. It's always spring for me now from inside. Sangat Ji, since being during this time of lockdown, looking around in the garden and really looking deep into the trees, into the leaves, and I just, sometimes I'm in awe looking at the beauty of the different colors of the leaves of the trees. In our back garden, we've got this beautiful tree, Sangat Ji, that it's got these beautiful, it's like a dark green. And it's not like that bright green, but it's like that dark green. And then some of the leaves are slightly purpley and then red. Just looking at them and being in so much awe. And then Pyareo, sometimes even though before a translation, something intellectually, but then looking at that, a pangati came to my mind, and that was Nanak tina basant hai jin ghar vasya kant, saying, haan sache paatshah ji, Nanak tina basant hai jin ghar vasya kant. Kande for them, and I was thinking that, am I only feeling, this happiness because it's spring and it's all green outside? And I thought that, what about when autumn comes and when these leaves start to fall off, and it hits winter, and then there is no leaves to be seen on the outside, and it's just bare twigs and it's just brown everywhere. And I thought, hey Sache Paatshah ji, this is what you're talking about. The happiness that we get when we look at this, everything blossoming in this season of spring. But when we can be in that constant, when do we become constant like that? That blossoming inside, where we feel just constant, we're always feeling rejuvenated from inside. When we actually feel the love of Vaheguru inside of our heart, then it doesn't matter if outside it's green or brown. It doesn't matter then outside if it's light or dark. It doesn't matter then if outside, if I lose my job or not. It doesn't matter then what is happening on the outside. It doesn't matter if I lose a friend or gain a friend. Then, because now I've got spring inside of me all the time, because I've fallen in love with my true Vaheguru ji. And Pyareo, Paatshah, Sache Paatshah ji is saying to us here, Kende Nav Rangadiyan. And Nav Rangadiyan is when it's forever, that season of Basant for us from inside, of spring for us, blossoming all the time. And Sangatji, the deeper element of that is what? That you take each moment of life to be new. And how do you take each moment of life to be new? That somebody may have caused so much grief to you in that very last moment. Only a second ago they've caused so much grief to you, but in this moment they have surrendered, and they feel that remorse, and they are falling to the ground. And Sangatji, what does it mean if I'm not in Basant? What does it mean if I'm not blossoming? What does it mean if it's not spring for me, if it's not green for me? Then I would still look at them for that last moment of when they brought grief. But because I'm not looking at that moment when they did something nasty, I'm looking at this moment, because I'm forever new now. That was that moment, and I had to deal with that situation for what it was then. And now I'm in this moment, and this moment they have surrendered. But Sangatji, but if it's not Basant for me, if it's not spring for me, it's not that season of blossoming for me, then I won't forgive them. Then I'll say, no, forget you. I'm never going to let go of what you just said to me. I'm never going to let go of those words that you just spoke to me. But no, Pyaro, Nav Rangadiyan. Nav Rangadiyan means that now I'm in this forever new color that I take you for now. Because for me, I'm blossoming every moment, and I embrace you. Nav. Are we new every moment? Are we new every moment? This moment, this moment, this moment. Sangatji, I do that often. Why? So it can really bring us here. Really bring us here. This moment, am I new? Am I taking the situation for what it is for now? Or am I holding on? Am I not letting go? Let's decide. Do we want to live in spring? Do we want to live where we're in constant blossom? Because once we're green from inside, then it doesn't matter what's happening outside. Ehe dehe so banki jit har japi. So just to clear up, Sangatji, that Kanchan being gold, having a golden body, means that we are now colored in that deep red color of love through the Guru. And we've done good actions as human beings in the past that I can't say what those are. I know I've made attempts in the past to say it could have been this, it could have been that, but I contemplated that this morning and I thought I shouldn't do that. That the truth is, until we don't know, we don't know. You know, that talking about that knowing, I can try and intellectually work it out, but that wouldn't be right. But the truth is, I don't know. And whatever that is, what we do know is, if I have got a guru in this life and I am coloured in that love, that means I have got a golden body, and that means I have done something right in the past. I've done something virtuous in my past lives. I know that I have, whatever that is, as a human being. Sangatji, this isn't, it's very, very, a Mahapurukh said, someone enlightened said, it's very, very unlikely that we were animals in the last 4 to 5 janams, even more. If you're even listening to this talk today and you're getting to listen to the Guru's words, they said it's very unlikely. It's probably many, many births that you've actually been a human being. Eh dehe so banki jit har japi. This body is banki. Banki means beautiful. That body, those senses are beautiful. Jit har japi, that meditates on God. Japi means to meditate on. Har har naam suhaviyam. Then they become so beautiful because they've constantly got the name of God within their mind and upon their tongue and within their actions. It's only with very great fortune that naam sikhai, that we get such a beautiful friend. What type of friend? A true friend. A true friend like naam. Like that, the naam that the Guru gives us. We're so lucky to be able to get that. The whole package, the Guru's teachings and the Guru's mantra that the Guru gives us. The Guru mantra, as we call it, which is for us, Guru Nanak Pachaji gave the Vaheguru Shabad. Jan Nanak Ram Upaya. Pachaji saying that Jan Nanak, that servant here, Guru Ram Das Ji Pachaji saying that Ram Upaya, that it's all Vaheguru Ji that has made this happen for us. It's all under Vaheguru Ji's will. Now Pachaji is just going to use different examples from different things that are used for the horse and using those as examples for us to take something away. So like I said, it's not about us getting the accuracies right about the examples, but it's about the guna that we need to take from it, the qualities. So dehe pavon ji. So on this day, what do I put on this day? So pavon here is apne aap nu sambodhan. The shabad has been recited in a way from Guru Ram Das Ji Pachaji, taking it upon themselves. Dehe pavon, putting something on my body. What is that? Kande jeen. Jeen Sangaji, not jeen as in it's actually like more with a bindi in the jajja, so it's a zeen. Zeen Sangaji is the saddle that is put upon the horse. Kande zeen, what saddle am I gonna put upon my body? Kande that is of what? Kande bujj changaram. Kande, you know that beautiful Vaheguru Ji, that changa. Kande, what is that? Kande is bujj. Bujj means to have that realization. To be given, the best way to translate, I would say this is, as the Guru, you know the wisdom that Guru gives us about Vaheguru Ji, that is the zeen that we're going, that's the saddle we're going to put on. That's going to become our seat, is receiving the wisdom of Vaheguru Ji. Bujj here we can translate to wisdom from our Guru. Chad langa, what makes, and then changa can be translated to what makes us into good human beings. Chad langa, and then I I sit on that saddle of the Guru's wisdom, and then what will that help me to do? Chad, as I sit on it, langa, it will help me to get across. Langa, lang jana kise pasyon. Langa ji become poyangaram. I'm gonna get across what? Become something that is so difficult to get across. And what is that? Kende Poyanga. Sangaji, Poyanga means that this world ocean, this life, to be like an ocean, to get across that. But Poyanga means, so it's got the word here within it, it's got the word, so our arms, but that ocean, to swim across it, it's not possible to do it with our arms. So it's Poyanga, meaning that we cannot do it on our own. The only way we can do it is if we take the saddle, if we take the Guru's wisdom, then we'll be able to get across. Not otherwise, we won't be able to. आप नहीं कहते तार होना पाच, कहते ताड़ी बाहां ने नहीं काम देना, कहते कल्लियां दी बाहां ने। गुरु दे तुसी कहते जीन ऊपर बैठोगे तो फिर कहते तुसी पार लंघोगे। बेखम पयंगा अनत तरंगा पाची कहते बेखम पयंगा, कहते such कहते a difficult life to walk across. Sangaji, we know that. Sangaji, yesterday I was reading about what happened, the genocide that happened in Rwanda in 94. And obviously that was just outright ruthless, the way people were killed. They said anything up to about 800,000 to 1 million people were killed within 100 days. And yes, if you look at that, that is a very difficult life. And I was following the story of one lady who was hiding in a tight bathroom space in a little shower cubicle for all that time, for 2.5 months, 100 days in Naki Banadandaya. So no, maaf karna, for about just over 3 months. So just over 3 months she was hidden in this bathroom, getting very, very little to eat. She was left out of just literally about 85 pounds. But her journey of what she had gone through, Sangaji, now that's difficult. Many of times that the rebels actually came in to find if this particular family was there. But the priest said, obviously, he said, he hid them very well and said that I wouldn't do that. So he was protecting them. And this lady, the journey that she went through that such a difficult time. But Sangaji, during that time, there's one thing that she didn't let go of. She didn't let go of her prayers and her faith. The prayers that she had, that she used to recite from the Bible. It's having that faith. Yes, there were days where she felt extreme anger. And there were certain verses when it spoke about forgiving, that she wanted to take those verses out because she thought, how can we forgive these people? Because her entire family were killed during this time. Her mother, her father, her siblings, everyone was wiped out. Everyone was gone for her. She was left alone. But eventually she said, no, this is the word of God. She took it out, the verse that she used to read every day, and where the verse spoke about that forgiving somebody for no matter what they have done. And then Sangaji, she took that verse out, but then there was a voice inside of her eating away at her, that how can you taking that particular line out, you are denying God. And she then took that verse back in, and she came to that place where, Sangadiji, that look how difficult that situation was. That's what Bhaji is talking about here, where life becomes very difficult. And eventually she managed to escape, and she survived. She survived, and the person that had actually killed her family happened to be, from the same village, an elder person. She got the opportunity to go and meet him in prison, and the prison guard gave her a stick to say that make sure that whenever you feel like, you can beat him as much as you want, you can make him suffer as much as you want. And as she sat there, And she embraced for her what was her guru. One thing she said that she experienced during that time was that, what am I going to choose? Am I going to choose the path of hatred? And she said, am I going to be grouped? Do I want to be grouped in that group amongst the likes of how Hitler today is remembered by the majority within this world? Whenever somebody wants to give an example of somebody showing so much cruelty, sometimes people will use this. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying sometimes you'll hear people say these type of words. I'm not saying they should say them, but they'll say, like, you know, come on, you're being a bit of a Hitler there. And she thought, do I want to be amongst them? Because I'm here now feeling that I've got a right to be angry towards those that have killed my entire family. Or do I want to be grouped amongst great saints and activists that stood up for truth, and they chose their path of heart? And she speaks intensely about how her heart spoke to her, how her heart always guided her. And even the night before they came and raided and started killing and looting, her brother came to her to say that, you know, that I've got information that our house, our family is one of the families that are on their list to be killed. And he said that, I think we've got an opportunity tonight to get out of here, that I think we should get out of here. And she said her heart in that moment said, absolutely. She says, you need to go now, and if you guys don't get on that boat and go, she goes, you will be killed. And her father said no. He said, nothing of such is going to happen. You guys are just being silly. I don't know where you've got this information from. And the son said, I'm gonna accept my father's words because he is wise. And she went against her heart, and exactly that happened, what her heart was telling her. And the day when she was hiding in that bath, when they came to look for her, those that were killing and looting, they nearly opened that door, but they didn't enter in, because then they trusted the word of the priest. But they came back again into the house. But when they found out they were coming again, this time her heart told her they are going to come into the bathroom, and they're going to be looking in such and such place. So she hid in a particular place behind a cupboard, and exactly what her heart had told her had happened, because the priest said, no, don't move from this bathroom. But she said, no, I've gone against my heart once, and today I'm not going to. She listened to not the logical mind, but she listened to her heart, which was that comes in as an instant. You don't know where it's coming from. And they did go into the bathroom that day. They did look into that cupboard that she said they would, but they were hidden behind that cupboard. Sangaji, she followed her heart, and she embraced the words of the Bible. For her, that is her guru. And then, when she sat on that table, she didn't embrace knowledge. She embraced the qualities of the Bible. And when she sat there for a moment, that anger was coming again, and she thought, okay, what group do I want to belong to? And she said, I choose the group of love. And I don't want to name those people, because not everybody might feel that they're inspirations. And in that moment, that was it then. From that day on, she's never returned. She's lived with her heart. And she went over to grab hold of his hands, but he was obviously in just so much fear, he moved his hands away. She just looked him in the eyes and said, I forgive you. I forgive you. And the prison guard, he lost the plot. He said, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" And he kicked her out. He says, "Why are you saying he's killed our entire families?" And Sangat Ji, Sache Paatshah, this life can show us some really difficult situations. But most of us will not be, yes, those that went through the experiences of what happened in 84. What happened during the time of what happened in Delhi in 1984. In Delhi, Sangat Ji, in November. Those that experienced that horrendous time of seeing their families being set on fire, fathers having to watch their daughters being raped. Pyareo, but the truth is, most of us that are listening to this now, and our experiences are different. Slightly different to that. But we still see them as difficult. We still see them as challenges of life. That's what Ahmad is talking about here in this Shabad. And those challenges for us are just, are we pulling our weight at home? Are we actually helping each other out as a couple? Because today, it's not most of the women today that are going to be watching this in households, most of the women are working as well. And so are the men. They're both working. So it's about then how are we living and finding each way? Are we kind of putting more burden on one? And these are our difficulties in life today. But look, she got through that. And we can take those type of examples as inspiration. And yes, she very much inspired me. I spoke about a Muslim man that inspired me yesterday. And today I'm talking about a Christian lady that inspired me. We could take these inspirations for these little situations that we get into in our homes. You know, my wife works as well. And I work as well. Kids have got their homeschooling to do. Yes, it can seem very challenging and difficult. Like Paatshah is using here this word, bikam, puyanga, difficult to get across. But doing it on our own, she had the word of the Bible instilled in her heart. She did not let go of those words. And if we do the same today, Sangat Ji, whatever it is for you, if somebody's watching this and that has got a relationship with the Gita, with the Bhagavad Gita, whatever it is, it doesn't matter where you're taking that from. If that is become your guru, for us, Guru Granth Sahib Ji. And it doesn't matter what religion you belong to, it doesn't matter what label you've got on, but who's become your guru. But Sangat Ji, when we embrace our guru's way, those situations of how we're going to get through just the day with managing just normal chores of household chores, who's going to wash the dishes, you know, managing time well, and who's going to give focus to the homeschooling with the children. Am I going to put it on the other person even though they have to make the food as well? Am I being selfish? You know, let's embrace the Guru's words in every situation in our life, and then the Guru will get us across. So, aao pyareo, Dhan Sri Guru Granth Sahib Guru Ramdas Ji Paatshah Ji ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਕਹਿ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ? So, ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਚੜ ਲੰਗਾ ਜੀ ਬਿਖਮ ਭਯੰਗਾ ਰਾਮ ਬਿਖਮ ਭਯੰਗਾ ਅਨੰਤ ਤਰੰਗਾ. ਕਹਿੰਦੇ there's so many waves that come in this life ocean. And what are those waves? These waves, like I said, they're just sometimes all it is, the way somebody has spoke to us. You know, it might have come out a bit bitter, but they might be frustrated and they might be stressed about a meeting at work, and they're having to do those meetings at home now, on whether it be Google Drive, whether it be Zoom or whatever it may be. Yes, they might have snapped at us. Yes, that wave came at us. And how are we going to ride that wave? Are we going to ride that wave with the Guru's wisdom and saying that you don't have to snap back? you don't have to strike back in the same way. As Bhagt Freedji explained to us, Kende Frida jate maran mukiyan tina na mare kum. This is, you don't always have to turn around and respond back in that same way. You know, look at their whole picture, take them for the whole. Look at why they may have done that. That's what it means. That's what it means that we need the Guru's boat. So that saddle to be able to sit on to get across this journey that we are on. Then we don't have to respond like that. Kende Bhagt Freedji kende aapne de ghar jaiye pair tina de chum. Kende you can go into the calmness of your own home. Kende instead you can respond with it with a what? With a kiss. What does that mean? Not with a literal kiss, but you can respond with calmness and understanding them, and you meaning with lowering yourself with sweetness. And if they're not ready for that, because it might be that they're not ready for receiving any sweetness yet, because that's another situation that we occur. And then our mind goes into even more ego and say, look, I was being sweet, I was being nice, I was trying to like spread love to them, but look, they're not interested. It's even accepting that. It's even accepting that at the moment they are not open to receive at this moment. They're not receptive at the moment, and that's okay as well. But just like they said, this is that you've got to, do you want to be the Scorpio that is going to keep biting and do it? That's the nature of the Scorpio. Or do you want to be the one like a saint that keeps helping the Scorpio and putting that Scorpio back into the water? Because that's what happened, Sangat Ji, once by Mardana Ji and Guru Nanak Dev Ji was sitting on a boat. The Scorpio came and it kept just grabbing things with its claw, kept pinching, different people, and Guru Nanak Dev Ji kept putting it back in the water. By Mardana Ji said, why do you keep being so nice to it? Why don't you just kill it? Do something to it. Guru Nanak Dev Ji said, look, obviously Guru Nanak Dev Ji doesn't need to learn from anyone, but they were showing the world, they were saying, look, they said we can learn from the Scorpio. The Scorpio does not let go of its nature of keep biting. They said, so why should we let go of our nature of keep being sweet? And then it's not filling ourselves with pride for being sweet. Saying, well, I was being nice, you're not interested, so then it's alright, I'll just be nasty as well then. No, but it's not having any expectations for the way they should respond from us being sweet. That's not what we should have in our mind. That's holding on to a false hope. It's accepting that situation, and for that moment it might mean that we just need to just give them some space for a moment and go and do something else, another task, maybe within the household, that will help them with their pressure. Take that pressure off. Go and start cutting the vegetables to prepare for the evening meal. And for that moment it might not be, but it might not be that they want to hear, oh, but come on, it'll be okay, let's move on from this. They might not be ready, and we've got to accept that. So then we just go and do something else that lessens the burden, and they will acknowledge that at a later point, and that's okay. Even if they don't, that's still okay, because we just don't let go of that nature. And being sweet comes in many forms, and being careful that you don't become arrogant of being sweet, because that's how fine this game is. And that's why a great saint said once, you let go of the ego, and then the next test will be that you then start to become egoistic of becoming humble. So it's a fine game. You've got to be on it all the time. Be very conscious every moment. Remain conscious. What's happening in my mind? What's going on? Be in touch. Bekama poyanga anatataranga gurmukh par langaye. But through the Guru's word, we can get across. Kende har bohit chad. Kende get onto that boat. Of the name of God. Can they climb on the boat of the names God, just like we say Nanak Naam Jahaj hai chade sutre par. That's basically, it comes from these type of pangtiyan, har bohit Chadwad Pagi, those that are of great fortune can climb onto that boat of the name of God. Can they lange? Can they, you'll get across that way? Can they how? Can they, and then because can they, you'll have a boatsman. Kevat means boatsman. Because who is your boatsman? Can they the Guru, the true Guru. Can they Gur Kevat Shabad Tarae? Can they, when you take on the Guru's teachings and the Guru's mantra of Naam, can they, you'll get across. Don't worry. Can they Anand Har Rang Har Gun Gaave? Can they then night and day? Can they, or the other way around? Can they, the day and night we normally say, but it's written as night and day. Can they Anand Har Rang in the love of God? Can they Har Gun Gaave? Constantly singing the praises of God. Can they Har Rangi? Can they then being colored with what in the color of God? Har Rangi. Rangi here can be translated to the one that is colored. Can they Har Ranga, colored in the love of God? Can they Jananak Nirban Pad Paya? Can they those, can they Guru Ramdas Ji Pachi saying, can they those that become the humble servants of God, can they Nirvan Pad Paya? Then they reach that pad, they reach that state of what? Nirvana, of becoming completely desireless for this material world. Can they Har Uttam Har Pad Changa? Can they, this is the highest state somebody could reach? Can they, when you become Nirvan, when you do actions in this life without having a desire in something, in wanting something in return for it. That is the highest state you can reach. Kande Kadiyal Mukhe Gur Gyan Diradaya Ram. Kande Pach Kande Kadiyal. Kadiyal is that Sangaji that I think it's pronounced as brindle. I think that's how it is anyway. And it's basically what's put on the horses. It goes around the horse's whole mouth and it's put around there so that you can attach the reins to it to control the horse. As that is around that horse's mouth, that's what we want to put around us. We want to, what the gyan, the wisdom that comes out of our Guru's mouth, that's what we want to embrace. Then that the whip that is used to help the horse so it doesn't go off track and hurt itself, and to keep us safe as well. And then what do we wanna, what's our whip? Our whip is tan prem har chabak, is the love of God. That we bring the love of God into tan, into every part of our body. Kande laya ram tan prem har har laye. And then having that love of God, chabak man jane, and what happens is we start to then jane, have victory over this mind. The only way to have victory over this mind is when we are filled with love. Because when we're filled with love, then it doesn't matter what's happening in that crazy noise within our mind, all those thoughts going round and round that aren't listening to the Guru. And now because I'm acting from a place of love now, so in that way, man jane, I had victory over my mind. Gurmak Jiteya, giving ourselves to the Guru, what happens? Jiteya, then I won this life, the game of life. That mind. So talking in the sense of a horse. So imagine again our mind to be that horse. That horse that could not be trained, kadave, became trained. How can they shabad pave with the Guru's teachings? Can they apyao hariras pitya, and then started to drink apyao, the amrit, the Naam Rupa Amrit. When I started drinking the Naam Rupa Amrit Sangaji, Ras Pitya, that juice that was starting to flow inside of me, I started to drink that through the Guru's Shabad, through the Guru's word. Kende Sona Sravan Bani Har Gurbachan. Kende those words that my Guru speaks to me, Kende Sona Sravana. Kende that I allow my ears to listen to them. So Sangaji, let's open our ears to the Guru's way, to the Guru's word. Just like that, maaf karna, I've forgotten her name now. Just like that African lady that actually listened to those verses that she was reciting. Look how she was listening so much that she even rejected a line out of it, but then she embraced it again. So let's really listen to our Guru's word. And look how it transformed her life, Sangat Ji. It transformed her life. Today she's known as someone that is inspiring towards whole of humanity to follow your heart and embrace love and forgiveness. Har rang turi chadaya, Pachi saying, this, turi here means horse as well. Chadaya, to color yourself in the love of God. Pachi saying, Mahamarg Panth Bikhada, Jan Nanak Par Langaya. Oh, I think my Veer's found who it is. Oh my God, I ain't gonna be able to pronounce that name. So I'll try and say the first part, Immaculate. I don't know how this Veer preacher knows all this. I think that I'll come out with some really new stuff. Oh, he googled it, there you go. So Pyareo Pach ji saying that Mahamarg Panth Bikhada, Pach kende Mahamarg Panth Bikhada, this path to get through this life, Mahamarg, this it's so difficult. Jan Nanak Par Langaya, but becoming a servant of your Guru's word, you'll get across. Pach ji saying Kodi Tejan Dehe Ram Upaya Ram, Vaheguru ji has blessed us with this body. Jit has created this body for us. We're very blessed to have this human form. Jita har prabh jape, jita har prabh jape, where we can actually meditate on the name of God. Satan, tan tukhaya ram, that tukhaya, that horse, that body is so blessed that follows their Guru's word and embraces their Guru's word and becomes the Guru's word. Jita har prabh jape, that actually meditates on the name of God. Satan sabase, that person, that body is blessed. Tur paya. Then how did it happen? How did we get such a blessed body? Because from the very beginning, from our past lives, that all that kirt, all those actions, the karma, it all came together just like it did for that, I think it was the Immaculate, for that African lady. Sangaji, look at her karam. Her karam was that she had been reading the Bible every day, but she was understanding the verses, embracing them every day. That was her karam that she was doing. So this isn't necessarily talking about last life. This could be that we build it up in this life, that we do something good in this life. We might in the past be something crazy and terrible, but we build it up then to become golden, to then eventually in this life we end up with a golden body. So she had been reading the Bible. That's what she Kirt Jodanda. She had gathered all those karams of constantly reading every day, that she had memorized it. So even when she was in such a difficult situation in that bathroom hiding, she continued to recite those words of the Bible. That then it all fell into place for her. That's how then she became so blessed in the end. Chad dehad kodi bekham langaye. Can they get onto such a body? Can they climb onto such a horse that follows the Guru's word? Can they mil gurmak paramananda milling? Can they mill? I was going to say milling then. There's no such word. So that's what happens. That's called Pinglish. Mix Punjabi and English together. Mill. Then you unite with God, and then gurmak through. Can they? Through your Guru Paramananda, and you reach the highest state that you can reach. Har har kaj rachaya pure mil Sant jana jan ai. How was all this beautiful wedding? How did this beautiful wedding all fall into place? How did I end up getting married to Vaheguru, becoming one with Vaheguru? Because I had a great wedding party with me. Jinu apa janj keh denne sangat ji. So the wedding party I had was humble saints of God, and they're the ones that were this great support for me. Jananan, to help me understand the Guru's word on a deeper level. Jananan ka har var paya mangal mil sant jana vadai. Then Pach Jananan Guru Ramdas ji Pach is saying, as we then become a jan, as we become that humble servant, that can be translated many different ways, but that's so you can be even though we could translate it as Guru Ramdas ji Pach ji, as Guru Nanak Dev ji being the humble servant, or we can say that Guru Ramdas Ji Paach saying when we become that servant, then har var paya, and we get that var, then we get to get that husband of ours who is Vaheguru Ji, and we meet with Vaheguru Ji, Sangat Ji, because when we're in that forgiveness, we are with Vaheguru Ji. Je khima te aap mangal mil Sant janava dai, and then Sangat Ji singing those songs of union, kande Sant janava dai, and then all those humble saints of Vaheguru Ji congratulate us and say, well done, you've made it, you've won this life, even though when you saw that, and you in that moment you was able to forgive, you've met God. And the moment that your heart wells up with love and you become unconditional and you reach that state of nirban, where whatever you do in life, you don't have a desire to want something back for whatever you are doing. When you reach that place, then the Sants become happy and they say Vadai dinde ne, they say congratulations. That is the true congratulations that we should give to each other. Sometimes we congratulate people on a new house, on this, that and the other, but I'm not saying we shouldn't, but just a personal thing for me, I often try and refrain from, it's not something that flows for me. For me, when somebody instills these qualities inside of them, then you feel like hugging them and saying Vadanya. Congratulations that your heart's filled with love. Congratulations, you've become so forgiving. Congratulations, you've become so humble. These are the true Vadanya. The other Vadanya are just temporary. They're false. I have Vadanya asali. Vaheguru Ji ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji ki Fateh.